Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel and another layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files design team. I am going to be using a couple of cut files today. The sofa and the lamp are from the family portrait cut file, and the bookcase is the bookcase cut file. So I've been wanting to use these for a while. I've had a layout in mind where I wanted to create a little scene with these, and I recently took a photo that would be perfect. So in the photo, my son is sitting on top of the sofa for some reason, at the top of the back of the sofa. He thought that would be a good place to put his school socks on. So I snapped the photo and decided to use these cut files. So I have gone ahead and backed most of the cut files off camera. The bookcase in particular took quite a while to back. There's lots of little teeny tiny details. So I've used the Pebbles, the Avenue collection for most of this. The only part that is not from that collection is that wood grain paper that I've used on the bookcase and those foam title thickers that you can see off to the right hand side there. So I'm really pleased with how these cut files turned out. You know when you have an idea in your head about how a layout is going to look and then it just doesn't quite hit the mark? This lived up to my expectations completely. I was so chuffed with how it turned out, especially that bookcase. There's so many little details on it, and this collection actually has, especially in the 6x8 paper pad, lots of teeny tiny text icons, and a lot of them are foiled. So what I actually did was cut out a few of those and added them to the spines of the books so they have text on them. I'm so pleased with how that turned out. So hopefully you'll be able to see that, all those tiny details in the close-ups at the end of the video. But for now, I'm just going through and backing the lamp so you can see my backing process. Pretty simple. I used that floral paper to back the shade of the lamp, and I also used that in one of the cushions there. So I just love how this turned out. So I actually had to snip the bottom of the bookcase off. I accidentally ripped it when I was pulling it off my cutting mat, and that is totally my fault, just not being careful enough. But I've just trimmed off the bottom where I ripped it, and I'm going to cover it up with the sofa anyway, so you can't really tell. So here I'm going to add another little detail. I've added the hands back to the clock, but because I backed it with a cream paper, it's hard to see them. So I'm just drawing on the hands with a black tip pen. Really pleased with that. And I'm also going to go ahead and add a strip of wood grain just to the bottom of my layout to kind of help ground everything and provide a little floor to my scene. So that is just the same wood grain that I've used to back the bookcase with. It's kind of hard to see because my desk is very similar wood grain, but it is there. So in an album, you'll be able to tell it's there. So I'm going to put my sofa down on the floor and line everything up. I'm just so pleased with how these cut files turned out. It's so cute. Really pleased with it. So I'm just using some tacky glue to stick those down, carefully lining it all up. And that sofa does come with little like button tufts as well. I don't end up adding those back on because just with all my details, they kind of would have got covered up anyway. So I've just left them off, but they do come with the cut file. And the family portrait cut file also comes with a framed, like a photo framed picture frame. That's the one. So if you're looking to pick that up, you will get that as well. So I'm just trimming off the branding strip. That background paper, it looks white or cream, but it's actually got a very subtle pattern on it. It is part of that Pebbles, the Avenue collection. It's got a very subtle kind of geometric pattern that reminded me a bit of wallpaper, so that's why I chose that as a background. I'm going to add a couple of layers to my photo with the 6x8 pattern paper pad. So I'm just using this text paper for my first layer, and then I will add a layer of that bright red spot. I have added some red into the bookcase in a couple of places, and I really just like the bright pop of color that draws your attention to the photo, because the colors in the photo are quite subdued. My son's uniform is the same color as the sofa, the papers that I've used to back the sofa, so it didn't really stand out, but adding this layer really helps it to pop off the page. So I'm just adding a thin layer of that. There we go. And I'm going to layer that over the top of the sofa and the bookcase just slightly. So I'm going to add some adhesive foam just to help it sit nice and level, even though those cut files aren't backed with any foam. Even just the extra layer of paper kind of throws off everything sitting flat. So adding some foam just behind my photo in these areas helps it to sit nice and flat. So just like that, and then I'll just add in, I'm using a combination of adhesive tape, so this is just my Scotch ATG, and then I'll add some liquid adhesive, just some tacky glue along the edges there. I just don't fully trust tape on adhesive foam. It doesn't always stick all that well in my experience. So I love this set of thickers. They're from a Crepe Paper Maggie Holmes collection, I'm pretty sure. Please don't ask me the name. It's one of the older ones, and I don't know the name. But it's got the little cuckoo clocks and the photo frames and whatnot, and the colours match really nicely. So I knew I had to use some of these on this layout. I love that little circle one as a cushion. That was totally spur of the moment. It just fit perfectly as a third cushion there. And then of course I needed to use the cuckoo clock on the wall, and then I'm just trying to decide which one I want to use. I do use one of these photo frames with the little rabbit. Oh, so cute. I love it. So I'll just layer those up on the wall, filling in those empty spaces. I'll use one of those glitter hearts just to fill that space on the bookshelf that was a little bit empty. Now I'm going through the sticker pack. I like this little Stay Cozy. The colors fit nicely and it's nice and small. Most of my page is already taken up with lots of stuff, so I wanted to keep my title nice and small. So I'm just going to add, again, just some adhesive foam to the bottom to help it stay nice and even with the rest of the layout. Just going to layer it just slightly over the edge of my photo, and again I'm using a combination of adhesives here just for extra insurance. So it's a perfect spot just there. And now I'm pulling out the 6x12 sticker sheet from the Pebbles collection, the Avenue. So many cool homey bits and pieces and icons in this collection, which is why I thought it was perfect for this layout, and I'm super happy I did use this collection because it all came together really easily. I love that little teacup with the florals, so I'm going to stick that on the top of my bookshelf there next to the potted plant. And then I decided to flick through my little sticker pack. I knew there were a bunch of leaves and flowers and bits and pieces, so I'm just going to add a few extra leaves to this pot plant up here. There we go, just like that. And then going back through all the icons, I found this little shopping bag. I thought that would be perfect to sit next to the sofa there. I pulled out a little fiddle leaf fig pot plant, which was also perfect because I do actually have one of these in my living room. So that's perfect in that little space there. I had to add this little Cavalier King Charles. Isn't he cute? So cute. So he's having a spot on the sofa. I couldn't resist him. And that little plant there in that space. And that's perfect. So I'm just going to add now some journaling. These are just some typed up strips that I printed out. A few lines, just adhering those with some tacky glue. And that will be my layout all done. I'm so pleased with this one. It's one of my absolute favorites of all time. I really hope you enjoyed joining me today. Don't forget to check the description box for the links to the COAPA Cutfiles Etsy shop and the Facebook group. Close-ups are coming up, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.